All right, I think we are live. Let's see here, just a second. Yep, we are. How's it going, everybody? And any who happen to be watching the replay. We are set here on the stream today to work on the main bridge that we have been struggling for ideas with for a while, that is going to connect the two mountain bases between my and Lunar Moon's Hogwarts build that we're going to do over there across the way. So we have this we've had this laid out for quite a while, at least the height. Of where we wanted to put the bridge over here. But we were struggling with different design ideas and things like that for a bit, so we just decided to kind of set it on the back burner and give it some time to ferment, so to speak. So finally came up with what we think is some good ideas, or a good idea. And of course that was Lunar Moon's idea. None of mine made the cut. She once again came out in about 15 minutes of me struggling and trying different things, and came up with a design that we are going to go with here. So we have some supplies out here, and I'm not sure if we'll be able to build the entire bridge on the stream, but we are going to give it a decent college try, so to speak. So without too much more blathering on about that, I'm going to start placing in some blocks, and Kay will probably be jumping in here soon at some point, and we're going to start getting this bridge made. See how many times I fall placing these initial blocks here for the little support on the sides. Hopefully it won't be too bad. Kay, do you want to mix it like a little bit like this, you know, with a little bit of stone occasionally? Just to give it a little bit of... You think?
You won't be able to see it that much from
the ground, you think?
Yeah.
But we'll see. I think it might, if we mix it in sporadically, at least give it a little bit. It can't hurt, that's for sure. So we'll try it on one side and then see how it goes. But yeah, this should be, I'm hoping, this is basically what Kay came up with. It's pretty amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a very kind of different style, definitely a different style of bridge than we've ever done before. So,
and that's what I like about it.
yeah, definitely was one of the things that we were trying to come up with. We kept coming up with different ideas that were all the same. So this one, when it came about, was the one that we both agreed was the best. So hopefully when it's all done, you guys will like it too, or already do. So yeah, this initial part is going to be, I think, the biggest pain as far as block placing goes. I think a lot of the rest of it, we can almost shortcut a little bit of it to where we don't have to be dangling off of edges and things like that. So yeah, that was one thing. If you guys ever do big projects, don't hesitate to do what we did on this one. We've had this going since 1.18 came out. We've had this area and the main idea of having two mountain bases over this valley that we found. And you know, obviously we wanted the bases connected. So that was like basically from the beginning of 1.18, this bridge design has been something that has just been in the back of our minds. So, guys, whenever you're doing big builds and you're getting frustrated or you're not liking the way things are coming out, step away from it. Do some other stuff. I mean, obviously, we did a ton of work on my castle. We actually came up with some other ideas from what was originally going to happen with K's. You know, take time away from the project. Let it ferment, like in your brain a little bit. And then eventually an idea will come. So, especially with big builds, there's no sense in trying to necessarily put a time frame on them or anything like that when you're doing large projects. Plus, it gives you better looks at the overall, which will then feed better ideas to what you ultimately want to build. So, and that was kind of what happened with this. Kay, actually, the reason she was able to kind of just waltz in and finish a design in about 10 minutes was because over the last weeks, we've been flying back and forth in and out of the area, and she kept having it in the back of her mind, picturing different things, different builds, and eventually one of them clicked with her. And when we started messing around today, trying to see what would work and what wouldn't, she started building that idea, and it definitely fit the bill. So it's always a good tip when you're working on massive projects to just kind of let that stuff ferment every now and then. Don't get yourself frustrated. That's kind of the cool thing about doing big builds or having a world that you intend to keep for a while. You don't have to rush. You can take your time and try several variations. You know, we actually did that too. We had a couple times that we went into creative copy of the realm and tried a couple different designs there. And eventually, like I say, Kay came up with this in her mind. There's the first bad placing of the stair. And yeah, so today when we set out, that design came up and it works, what we think, at least, pretty perfectly. Let's see, the first step is going to be to get these stairs in. Those are all the supports for the sides. Let's go ahead and throw a bed down here. This is pretty well spawn proof or mob proof, but just to be safe, go ahead and do that. Get more of the stone brick stairs. Excuse me. So yeah, hopefully we will get as much of this done as possible on the stream. If not, we'll finish it and definitely highlight it in an episode, a regular episode coming up soon. Alright, so we got the main supports in for the walls. And then I think one of the other things we wanted to do, we were definitely considering breaking up some of the floor with a combination of stone brick and cracked stone brick, so that it's not all just basic stone. So I'm going to go ahead and texture all that in. Get that in place. Let's get that one stair back in there. Alright, that works there. I think what I'm going to do here is just, we'll knock out some blocks every now and then. replace rather than taking out the whole thing. Yeah, I think if we do something like that, then our actual walkway have a little bit more character to it. This is one of those things too, guys, that you know, when you're trying to like texture something or weatherize, you know, like make something look weathered, it's really a matter of kind of hit and miss. But one thing that Kay and I kind of learned actually from B-dubs was like every third block, every 3 blocks, you kind of want something different. So like even something like that where we have like a little divot, little busted out section. Kind of want to try to keep it where you don't have any more than 3 blocks of the same kind in a spot. Now granted, that's not something that we're sticking to 100%, but it's kind of a good rule of thumb where it doesn't go overboard, but definitely looks a little more natural when you place the stuff in, when you're trying to do these kind of making something look weathered or adding texture. So you have your main block, which is our stone, and then we're just trying to break it up so that there's never really anything that's 3 blocks in a row that are the same thing. And again, like I said, it's not a strict counting of 3 per se, but looks like we got our command blocks still active there. That seems to be a new bug where if you have command blocks in a realm or a world, that the output defaults, no matter what, to being true rather than false. We're going to go ahead and let's do game rule. Command block output, and we'll switch that to false. That should take care of those. Hey Fred, how's it going? I see you're over by spawn. And so anyway, along with the bridge here, we are going to add in a little communication system between our bases that is going to run below the bridge, and that will probably be reserved for another stream. Like I say, I'm not sure that we'll get the entire bridge done even in today's in one stream. We'll see how long the stream goes, but we are going to connect it up with a minecart rail system so that we can ship items back and forth to each other or whatever, messages, who knows, TNT. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so right now, like I say, I'm just kind of busting out spots here where we can make sure that we don't have anything that's like 3 in a row of anything in particular. And then hopefully, like I say, this will help it kind of look a little bit more natural, not forced. Seems to work out really well for us. And I would have to say that if there's anyone to learn from out there, B-Dubs is one of them. So kind of hard to argue with his techniques. Let's go with that there. There we go. So yeah, this is going to be a little bit of a grindy deal. That's kind of why we threw it up on a live stream today. So you guys got anything in chat there? Do you want to talk about anything with 1.19 or anything with Forever Bedrock? I mean, by all means, hop in and join the conversation. It's kind of more of the reason to do live streams than any other, to be honest. So let's see, you probably want to go the brick there, brick there. So yeah, already this is kind of looking really cool. There's a couple spots here I might add 1 or 2 more, but just this main path alone already looks a lot better with just adding this little mix in. Yeah, this would be a spot probably. It's the first fall. Not too bad though. It's always the fun thing about working up high. Always got to be ready for those lovely moments. And to be fair, I've had quite enough of the dying thing lately. We had the other day we were both AFK. Kay was AFK in the base and got killed by a skeleton. And when she dropped all of her gear, the skeleton picked up all of her enchanted armor and decided to ditch his bow for her sharpness 5 sword, fire aspect. So when I went to go save her stuff, I didn't have anything but an elytra and leggings on and leather boots so that I can use the snow elevators that I use to get up and down in the castle over there. And he annihilated me a good 3 or 4 times easily. So I just spent most of the day today actually getting levels back and getting all my gear fixed and that kind of stuff. So we're not too hip to be dying today, if possible, building a bridge. And yes, we do have some more cracked stone brick. All right, cool. want to mess up the banners. Kay's got the Hogwarts banners going already to set in place. And for any of you guys that haven't been following along, that is our next major project that we're in. Is Kay decided that her castle up there is going to actually become Hogwarts. So we are in the process of flattening that mountain, the upper parts of it, so that we can get the layout going. And I think we're looking at 260 by 240, 260 blocks by 240 blocks that we need to take care of there and level out just for the castle layout. So that is another thing that we've been streaming every now and then. So up here, we've been leveling. This was all mountain about that height. And we've been leveling all this out. And we have to go all the way from where we are there to here. And then it goes back another 240 blocks to here. So all of this needs to be leveled out to this level here where we've got the beacons. So we've been kind of doing a combination of beacon mining and TNT. TNT doesn't really seem to be... We've got access to it. That mob farm is pretty awesome for gunpowder. But, you know, like, the TNT is literally, like, you know, it's like kind of almost like a 4x4. And it's, you know, when you're taking down that much mountain, 4x4 blasts are not really very effective. So even if you stack it, you know, if you tunnel and just set it every block even, it's still not super effective. Oh, you can hear. Okay, I thought maybe we were having some issues there. Fred, you're not supposed to be watching other YouTube videos when we're on live. Come on now. All right, so main path pretty much done. I might go back and tweak that a little bit here and there. And then I think what I'm going to start with next, I think I'm just going to run this all the way down. So we got stone brick, and it looks like a slab every other. But I'm going to have to make sure on the 5s. That's a 5 block long pattern. So let's at least get the bottom row in. And I think, again, we'll mix. I think it might actually look good if we mix in. Let's get stacks, 2 stacks of each. So let's see here. If we did 5 and then that would be that should be a 5. And okay, that brings that even. I should have brought a stone cutter up here. I didn't think about that before the stream. We'll go get one in just a second. And again, I'm doing kind of the same thing. We might change all this back to stone brick. Not sure how this is going to look once it all gets in play. But again, same thing. I'm trying to make sure that there's never more than 3 in a row of one type of block. of the ones that we're using to kind of give the weathered appearance. And let's go 1, 2. That'll work. Let's get another stack of stone brick down there. The other video is about ADHD. Nice. Nice. It's one of those things. It's hard to focus, man. I think that's like such a I think so many people have that and don't realize it. You know, it's one of those things where we're bombarded with input so much nowadays compared to, you know, years in the past where it's really a lot of times, you know, I don't think a lot of people, not anybody. I think a lot of people don't even realize that they may have an issue with that, and that's not so much an issue, but something that impacts their life. All right, so level 1 is good, and it looks like Kay went with half slabs every other, so it's time to let's grab a stone cutter and we'll get some half slabs made up here. I think that's especially hard nowadays, actually, you know, the ADHD with kids, because there's just so much emphasis nowadays on the electronics with kids. You know, I mean, it used to be like when I was growing up, you know, the TV was the babysitter a lot in a lot of households, and I think nowadays that crutch is probably utilized by a lot more parents in the form of tablets or cell phones or you know, cable or streaming television, etc. It's rampant in our like culture right now. That whole need for input constantly. Alright, that should give us quite a few. That's going to give us more than enough slabs. Let's hop on down the snow elevator here. And let's see, let's get stone cutter set down. Yeah, we'll just put it on top of here so that there's no extra spaces taken up here. And we'll go slabs. Let's see. Let's see. I know we can't do slabs of that, but we can't do slabs of steak. We could definitely maybe mix in some regular stone slabs. Let's see what we get here. Looks like K is going every other one. Alright, so actually this would be a 1. Since it's a new group of 5. So let's see, that would be 1, 5, and then this would actually be the next one. Right? Yep. Okay. No, not a full block. some reason math didn't work out on that so great, but we'll fix that once we get the actual walls in. TV was a bad babysitter. Yeah, I have to admit the same. It definitely didn't have half the options that you do nowadays. Although, I mean, in reality, all the options that are out there now are pretty crappy anyways. So, even though there's more of it, it's just more crap. So, it's kind of the way I see it. Yeah, we definitely did a lot more outside kind of stuff when I was younger. Wasn't about sitting in the house too often. Let's see here. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Sure, I'll be doing that many more times. It's almost getting hypnotic doing this now. I like put myself into a trance in my own stream here. Have to see how that rolls. We might have to knock out a little bit of this and tie that in different. We'll have to see. So curious, what do you guys think of 1.19 so far? What everyone has at least been able to see so far? Any kind of favorite features or thoughts on it all overall, that kind of thing? Alright, somehow I have this messed up. And that's how right there. Okay, so that's 1, 3, 4, 5, and the double should be here. Okay. And that's still wrong. Let's see, where did we go off? Should be a double, a single each time. So double, single. good there. Double, single, double, single, double, single. That gives us our 5. That's why I'm counting it this way, guys. It's got to be this one. Yep, there we go. And then this one comes out. Single. That one becomes a double. That one becomes a double. Just make sure these are all in line so far. And there we go. Now we can get this fixed. Afraid of the Warden. Haven't paid attention to anything else. Yeah, mangroves, frogs. The mangrove wood is really cool. Kay and I did some experimenting with building blocks that are in there. The mud brick is awesome. It's a good block for building. The mangrove wood, like I say, is pretty cool. It's a decent shade. It's a little bit red when you go for the planks or stripping it, but there's definitely uses for that. It's like a darker, more of a maroon red than what the crimson is. So it does definitely have some uses that would be cool for builders. The frogs, that's another one. Honestly, I'll be honest. You have a frog that has to eat magma cubes, which nobody likes. Nobody likes magma cubes. So you have a frog that lives in swamps, and you have to somehow get it in the vicinity of magma cubes or get magma cubes in the vicinity of the frog. I don't really understand that mechanic or get it or have any desire to try to make that work to get the lights or whatever, the shroom light or the frog lights or whatever they are. So that one mystifies me a bit. And then there was an interesting discussion. A couple of us on Twitter were talking about the allay. And the thing with the allay is, for any of us, all of us that play Bedrock, we all know this, that there has been in the game forever an issue with chunk borders and entities. Entities tend to despawn when they're able to cross a chunk border when you are logging out, or when you leave and unload the chunks if that entity can cross a chunk border. So they tend to just disappear. So you have the allay. Hear me out on this. You have the allay that supposedly can fly around. You would almost literally have to keep that allay somehow contained because of that bug in a one chunk area somehow. Because if you don't, he's going to despawn at some point. Maybe not immediately, you know, that's the same thing, like, you know, your mine carts and things like that, horses and things that disappear in Bedrock over this issue. They don't disappear automatically. It's not always the first go, you know, that it happens. So it's really almost a useless mob for the Bedrock players, because not only is there that issue, but to be able to get the allay, you have to go either to Pillager Outpost, which those are easy enough to find. Those are usually, you could almost hit those with a rock if you threw a rock in Minecraft nowadays. With the recent terrain generation, there seem to be a abundance of pillager outposts. But the only other way to get them is to get them from what is it? Woodland Mansion. And swamp biome that match. And that's the thing though, is like I don't have any desire to. I despise magma cubes, so I'm not gonna go looking for them. That's for sure, any more than I need to. So, the idea of me doing, if anybody on Forever Bedrock is hearing this, obviously, you might want to start a shroom light shop because, or frog light shop. Sorry, because I'm not going for them. I might like them, but I'm not gonna go for any way or possibility of setting them up. I've no desire to work with magma cubes in any fashion whatsoever. But yeah, getting back to the LA. So Woodland Mansion and the Pillager Outpost seem to be the only places that you can get them. They don't. They're not breedable. So you bring the LA back to your base and you start messing around and you get this awesome setup going, and you forget that your LA is going to disappear if you don't chunk align the area or keep him contained to one chunk area. You go away and then all of a sudden your LAs are gone. Now I don't know if they respawn in those areas. I don't think they do. So like if you go take them out of one pillager tower, I don't think they respawn back there. So it's just one of those things that, yeah. And then the Woodland Mansions, Fred, you hit it right on the head. They're so far away in Bedrock that it makes no sense. I know Kay and I have been on worlds where the closest Woodland Mansion was like 25,000 blocks out from like where everybody was located. So yeah, it's not. It's one of those, great concept. But until they fix the bugs with within Bedrock on the chunk borders, it really is another new feature, quote unquote, that we're just not going to be able to really enjoy on Bedrock unless they fix it. And I don't think they're going to. I've actually heard rumors. One of the more popular videos of ours is the one about the chunk monster, where we kind of explain the two bugs that were happening. And they fixed the one. But I'm hearing from a lot of people that original bug is back, where entities just get deleted within an entire chunk. I don't know. I can't really confirm it. It's something that I saw recently. I wasn't able to like independently kind of test it in a test world or anything. But if that's the case, that just makes it even kind of worse. So let's see here. Let's make sure this is going to look okay. I should probably take a little fly down. See what it looks like from the ground. Yeah, okay, cool. We're not going to see a ton of detail in the weathering or anything like that from any of the lower heights, but obviously when you're on it is when you're going to notice those details. But it's still worth doing it, I think, for sure. So yeah, it's kind of interesting to see. It kind of gives argument to the whole idea of they really need to consider a future update of being nothing but parity and bug fixes, because this is a perfect example of You know, you're focusing on new features before you fix bugs, and a large chunk of the player base isn't going to be able to enjoy that feature at all. That brand new awesome feature, because there's a bug that's been in the game probably since, oh, at least 4 years, if not more than that. So it gives a little bit of credence to the idea of maybe taking a step back and not worrying about producing new content and fixing the existing to get it to a playable state before you go adding in, because all it's going to do is frustrate Bedrock players. I can guarantee that. I haven't even messed with it in preview, because I know there's what's the sense of me working on a farm or anything, because the mechanics and such are gonna have to change. Something's going to have to change before it even becomes usable. So, you know, for me, I haven't even toyed with it in preview at all. It's like a non-feature to me at all. So it'll be kind of interesting to see what they do between now and when 1.19 comes out. Maybe they fix the entity problem. I don't know. I mean, they've seemingly tried to do that many times and don't really seem to be able to get it. So that's a tough one. It's a tough sell that they're going to somehow magically pull that off before 1.19 hits. I hope they do. That's one of the arguments that's out there, is that, oh, they can work on bug fixes and new content at the same time. And, you know, there's some truth to that, but when you have these issues that impact the game, I mean, that's almost a game breaker, you know, the delay. It's not a necessity. You don't need it. But, you know, obviously there's going to be some cool designs with ways to use it for sorting, etc., and getting items to a sorting system. But, you know, if you're not able to use it, or if a good chunk of the player base isn't able to use it, it's just going to cause frustration, at least within that player set. So they may be able to do both things at the same time, new features and bugs, but they just don't seem to be getting the bugs fast enough when brand new features that they're trying to implement don't even work, or won't work, I guess I should say. It's a little frustrating. Alright, let's see if we can't get some of these sidewalls started. Alright. I'm surprised I haven't fallen more yet. Alright, there we go. Let's see about getting one full side in with the walls to the height that we need, and then we'll do a little fly down to the bottom and see how it looks from below. I think this one we're going to stay with more of the stone brick. There's another fall. She's just flying around. I think it already looks kind of cool as a bridge. Not even finished. So let's see here. Let's let's go with that. Let's go ahead and load that up. There we go. Alright, let's take a little fly down to the bottom here and see if we can get a good spot. Yeah, I think that is coming along. Let's grab some more rockets here real quick. We can get started on the other side and the top. There we go. Right. We're getting there. Progress is being made. Blocks are being placed. Starting to actually look like a bridge. I don't know how I'm going to do that. That's going to be interesting to try to do efficiently. Let's see, we need some more of those and some more of those. No, I don't think we want connections. Yeah. I'll stick with 3 there. All right, that takes care of those main sidewalls. Let's see what we got here. It's always best to kind of look at it from an angle. Yes. All right, let's take a look at this and see if there's an efficient way to do this. And there's not. All right, so it's going to be, let's see, I suppose the most efficient way actually would be to just run lines and then come back and knock out blocks. Let me get up top there in a second here. Let's make it daytime. And then we will get up top here and see if there's a way. There's not going to be, let's see. So that's going to be a 1. And that would be a half slab. You can totally tell that this was Kay's design. I'm trying to like reverse engineer what she did here. Let's see that. Oh, nope. Let's see, how did she do that? There's that. That look right? I think so. No. There we go. All right. Yeah, why would they? Exactly. All right, so this actually, every single pillar, we need to knock a block and replace it with a half slab. In order for this design to work correctly. Oop. All right, every single gets a half slab. K-Build's way more intricate than I do. And then actually we could connect all of those. Oh. All right, that's one side fixed. Hopefully, won't have any more errors there the rest of the way. Then we might as well go ahead and connect all these upper parts. And then we'll start on the other side. Finish that side off. Then we can see if there's any sort of efficient way of getting the actual top in. All right, that's that. All right, every single needs a half slab again. There we go. Sorry. I might have exactly done that. If I did, excuse me. That's what happens when you're trying to count bricks and manage live stream, and you start getting confused. There we go. There we go. We need more hash slabs. All right, let's see. I think be a good time to take a fly down and get a view. Oh yeah. All right, I am definitely liking the way this is coming. All right, cool. Cool, cool, cool. What do you guys think, actually? I mean, obviously it's not done yet, but it's starting to at least take shape. And same thing here. We're going to have to figure out a way to connect this in to what Lunar's already got going here with Deep Slate. Hey Nolan, how's it doing? Thank you on the compliment on the bridge, man. Thanks. Yeah, this was actually designed by Lunar Moon. It's my daughter. She's on the channel with me. And so, and yeah, Fred, you are exactly right. She always seems to be busy when the harder things. She came out here, and like and it's happened before with the if you're not familiar with the channel, it happened before with this wall, the castle wall. I worked on a castle wall design for about 45 minutes one day and just got frustrated. And she came out, logged into the game, logged onto the realm, and she put that together in about like 12 minutes. Even the variations with using the different wall blocks to give it, like variation throughout the whole design. 12 minutes, literally, just put me to shame with what I had tried. And she did the same thing today with this. There have been like multiple attempts over different days and times to come up with a design for this bridge, and we've been putting it off until we found a good one. And I was working on it today again. She kind of logged in, hopped on the realm, put this together, this section. And then now that it needs to be done and it's ready to go, she like disappeared and has things to do. So it's like, here you go, you can finish it now. She's awesome. When she designs stuff like this, I can't really. There's really no room to complain. So, all right. So, where we have the half slab is a full block. And then we skip. Okay, so it looks like it's going to be something like this. 2, 1, and then probably a 2 again. That I could just double up. And then, yeah. So I wonder if this wouldn't be more efficient to just lay in a bunch of blocks and then knock them out. We got to be getting close to the end there. Let's see if this wonderful idea of mine works. Do I have more? Yes, I do. All right, so it seems like what we have here is a looks like what she did is that, 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 oop. I'm thinking that's it. Let's see. So that is definitely a block. That would be a gap and a gap. Straight across. Let's use full blocks instead of goofing up there. That. Nope. And it would be 1, 2. And we start the pattern over again. So actually, if we did this, no, we want that one in. We want that one out. There we go. All right, that makes a little more sense. So we should probably, let's get up top again and we'll fill in this other side. And then we can just knock out the blocks from the bottom. There we go. Actually, we could do this from here. I was actually really glad with the way this came out scale-wise, too. That was one of the other concerns we had was being up high as it is and then connecting two massive bases. We definitely needed something that was big, but not like, we wanted open space. So that was one of the harder things to come up with on the design, the way we wanted. We didn't want it to be just a big solid mass of blocks. Alright, let's go do this, because we know that every single pillar actually every single pillar has a block. Get in there. Alright, so every single pillar has a block. That's where we actually have the cross pattern. Okay, so then that would mean that this comes out and this comes out. And we have that. And then we have two blocks. Gap. Gap. Cross pattern starts again. Yep, there we go. I think we got it. I think we got it now. Alright, so next to the single gets knocked out. Fill in the cross pattern. That ends up being two blocks. There we go. Now it's making sense. Now it's making sense. Thank you, Fred. Might actually get this done in the stream after all. That would be awesome. I wasn't sure if we would be able to get this complete. Don't really have a set time for the stream, but I'm gonna go too crazy. So I guess we'll make that the goal. We'll finish the bridge on stream since we're actually making some good progress here. This is almost worse than doing redstone on stream. Trying to figure out one of Lunar's builds, or one of her patterns to finish the build. It's like doing redstone or math on a stream. In. Nope. Not there. There. Okay. We'll go that. We'll go that. All right, where did we mess up here? Oh, it looks like we just need to do this. And knock out that. And aside from leaf blocks and some minor details, that's looking super cool, I gotta admit. I'm digging that. I'm digging that. I think I might even get an attaboy from Lunar on this one. This really came out good. I mean, I'm sure there's some other little details and odds and ends. Like I say, we do have the section that she completed that we were using to model this off. Was she's got some leaf blocks in there. I'm sure we'll have some things with some trapdoors and whatnot in different places too to kind of add a little bit more color into it, but I think overall that is super good. It totally fits the theme. So we just got to tie it into the mountain on both sides and finish up some of the other details, like I say, with some leaf blocks. Maybe some other little odds and ends with trapdoors or some buttons and things. But the overall design is awesome. What does it look like from the ground? That's one of the other things that's so hard when you're building on this scale, like to make things look good from different angles. That looks cool. That looks really cool. It's got just enough open space to let light through, so it doesn't look like a big mass of gray blob in the sky. And we're probably going to make, the way we have this arch, we did a little bit of one there into the side of the mountain. We're probably going to add another one over there, which will give it a little bit more of a supported feeling. But even that, I think alone looks pretty well supported with that main arch. Thanks, Nolan. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with, especially since it was Lunar's design, and like I say, she builds a little bit more intricate than I do, and for me to be able to kind of pull that off, it wasn't a like crazy hard design, but she throws in little half slabs and things here and there that I never think to do, and that really adds some depth. Cool. All right, guys. Well, I tell you what, probably a little bit of a short stream. I'm not even sure what time we fired up, but the main thing was to getting this bridge done. And then if you see underneath there, that is going to be a stream coming up where we have the acacia in there. We're going to run that acacia all the way through. That is going to be a little transportation system to send messages back and forth, or for us if we want to ride a rail from each other's base to the other instead of walking the bridge. So we'll be doing that on another stream coming up soon, as well as trying to finish off flattening the rest of this mountain so that we can actually get the Hogwarts castle layout in place. So we got to go, like I say, all the way up to here. We have to flatten the mountain for that whole thing. That's, like I was saying earlier, that's going to be 260 by 240 blockwise, 260 wide and 240 deep for the entire layout. So we got to knock out all this mountain, flatten it out. So I'm sure we'll have quite a few more streams with that. And then by then, I'm thinking the 1.19 will come out, and actually the mud brick block really fits in well with the Hogwarts castle wall color. So it might take us a little while to get to that level, but by the time, like I say, that might actually work to our advantage to the amount of time to get that mountain knocked down, so that we will actually have those mud brick blocks to do the walls for Hogwarts. So it'll all be coming up soon. If you guys haven't already, hit the like button. I'd appreciate if you did that, and subscribe if you're not subscribed to keep up to date on stuff we're working on here on Forever Bedrock. Definitely check out the description. I have all the links to the other Bedrockers, Forever Bedrockers, in there. They all make amazing content. You should definitely check those guys out too. And well, this is going to be it for the stream today, guys. Thanks a lot. We really appreciate everybody hanging out, and we'll catch you next time.